In the wake of Donald Trump's stunning election victory, again, Jon Stewart managed to find some faith in humanity. So I'm going to share this clip with you because of, at least partly because of how my last video, my analysis and breakdown of this election, how that video ended. It was very depressing. I have a hard time hiding how I feel. I have a hard time finding faith in humanity in moments like this. But I think it's important and vital to have people like Jon Stewart with the kind of platform that he does be able to be a sort of guiding light in a moment that feels so aimless. So I'm going to share this and also get to a couple of examples of what he's referring to, because it's already happening with the mainstream press. And I'm also going to get to, later on, I tweeted something out this morning that people have some questions about. So I'm going to address that as well. But first, here is Jon Stewart.
Here's what we know. Is that we don't really know anything, and that we're going to come out of this election and we're going to make all kinds of pronouncements about what this country is and what this world is. And the truth is, we're not really going to know shit. And we're going to make it seem like this is the finality of our civilization and this and thing. We're all going to have to wake up tomorrow morning and work like hell to move the world to the place that we prefer it to be. And I just want to point out, just as a matter of perspective, that the lessons that our pundits take away from these results, that they will pronounce with certainty, will be wrong. And we have to remember that. If you're in 2008, when Barack Obama won,
there's no question that this is the beginning, the first election of the future, really. And I think we are moving towards a post-racial America.
Yeah, that lasted a day. And then, of course, in 2012, Obama won again. And the lesson was,
the GOP needs to send a powerful signal to Hispanic voters that the party respects them.
That was the lesson they learned after that victory. And they were certain of it. And send a powerful signal to the Hispanic community, the GOP did.
When Mexico sends its people, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
Which apparently was the winning message. And that taught Democrats in 2016 what?
Maybe what the Democrats will be looking for is somebody with some inside experience, but who's a generation younger.
It's obviously going to be younger. It's going to be from a new generation.
Need I say it?
It's with great honor and humility, I accept this nomination.
And that turned out to be a winning message again, which led to an insurrection. And the lesson from that was,
when Donald Trump leaves office on Wednesday morning, he will leave Washington a pariah.
Donald Trump will never be allowed to set foot in the Capitol again. Never.
Ever. My point is this. But this isn't the end. I promise you, this is not the end. And we have to regroup, and we have to continue to fight and continue to work day in and day out to create the better society for our children, for this world, for this country, that we know is possible. It's possible.
It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. No, maybe not likely. It's possible. No, look, I have to find moments here of levity for myself, just so I can allow myself to be a person again. Because this really was, of course, stunning. The election, Trump's victory, is going to have clearly a major negative impact on many lives. That said, that doesn't mean we need to just sit down, be quiet, and that's it. This goes into my tweet. Before I even get there, though, just quickly on some of the stuff he was talking about in terms of the pundits. Look at this trash. CNN panelists Van Jones, Alyssa Farah Griffin, and longtime Democratic strategist David Axelrod all agree that at least one key reason for Kamala Harris's loss is, quote, the fear about Israel not being protected. Imagine believing this. Quote, there was never a response from the campaign on that. This despite Harris's full military and political support for Israel's ongoing 13-month genocide in Gaza. In fact, the data shows I could show the clip, but nobody wants to hear them speak. This is what they were talking about. You can watch the clip. I'll link to below the video if you care. But Tariq Kenny Shawah here sharing, and not a shred of evidence cited. These pundits probably aren't even aware that over 61% of Americans across the board support an arms embargo on Israel, and that undecided voters in key swing states were 34 to 39% more likely to vote for Harris if she supported an embargo. The data, it isn't just one poll. Poll after poll after poll showcase this. The fact that these clowns can get on here and try and claim that the defense of Israel was a big reason she lost, or her lack of defense of it, is completely insane. But again, this goes to what Jon Stewart is saying. A lot of these people, these are the people in these positions of power, at least in media power, that have absolutely no idea what is going on. These are the people that we have relied on in their polling, that we have relied on to kind of figure out what's going on in this election. They were completely wrong. Why would we continue to listen to them now? Especially when it's obvious the points they're making are completely baseless. Another example of this trash, Chuck Todd thinks John Fetterman could be the North Star for the future of the Democratic Party. This one's quick, so I'll just play this. It is so insane.
Fetterman could end up being an interesting sort of North Star for the party. Right. He's a guy who's figured out how to win. He was basically a working class Democrat that has stayed a Democrat. Well, essentially, all of his brethren where he grew up are clearly have moved towards Trump. So I think Fetterman could end up playing a pretty big role in whatever the party's going to, wherever they're going to next, because Fetterman seems to get it a little bit more than, he's look where he was in Israel too. So he's not been a predictable politician.
Fetterman ran as a progressive politician. He ran against Dr. Oz as somebody who had in the past backed Bernie Sanders, and once Fetterman came in and was elected, he went right wing, especially on Israel. It's not like he ran on Israel in Pennsylvania and won because he was strong on Israel. He took these loud positions afterward. To be clear, or to be fair, he had that position before. It wasn't as brazen as it was after he got in. But he was asked about it once. He had one answer, but he didn't run it. It wasn't part of his campaign. He gets in, is a complete right-wing loon. And Chuck Todd acting like, oh, look, Fetterman, he's in his position because he knows how to talk about how to be strong with Israel, and he knows how to be conservative, but also be a Democrat. No, he ran as a progressive and won the election as a progressive. It'll be interesting to see if he is if there is an attempt at a primary on Fetterman next time around. But again, these pundits are completely insane. Now, I want to get to my tweet, but first, I can't share this. I don't want to share this because this is a paid Substack, so I assume they want it to be hidden and be paid. But I want to share this because this sort of knocked me back into my senses. This is a great Substack, Crossplay. Patrick Klepek is a games journalist, and he has this Substack that is about video games, but with family as well. So he has a blog here just discussing how he told his eight-year-old daughter that Kamala Harris lost after she was excited about her winning. I teared up reading this, but this was a reminder that we have to do everything in our power to continue being sane, rational voices in this world. I have a child. I'm worried about his future. And we're not American, but I understand the impact that the U.S. has on the entire world, not just even in terms of policy, but culturally. The impact that Trump had since winning has been immense. The rise in hate crimes, this unleashing of people just to be their absolute worst selves. And that is extended to, Canada has its own right-wing conservative issue here, but that's a different discussion. And we'll get into more of that leading up to Canada's election next year. But this is just for me this is the reason why I have to continue doing this. And I bring this up because people have been I didn't realize. I figured, to me, Twitter's like an echo chamber. I figure most people, I know most people that watch my videos on here don't follow me on Twitter, don't read my tweets. But I did tweet this out early this morning, saying I have no desire to discuss this or really any news or politics anymore. Looking for work, preferably offline. I tweeted that out in earnest. That's how I felt when I did it. Now, if you know me, if you know me personally, if you see me during live streams, I feel like this all the time. I wake up, and this is, it could be a bad news day. I felt this way in the wake of the genocide. When that was really ramping up. I felt this when Trump almost started a war with Iran. There are moments, I felt this during COVID. There are moments, and to be fair, they've been more consistent. But there are moments where it's just like, I don't want to read about this anymore. I don't want to be engulfed in this. I want to be on a farm. I want to milk a cow. Like I want to separate myself from the humanity that I have very little faith in. But I wake up the next day and I feel differently. And this is, I have a desire to try and do what I can, to use whatever platform I have, even if it's just my own echo chamber, because these videos, we know how these algorithms work, don't often get out to new audiences. But I have this desire to inform other people, to try and break stories down, to try and help explain things. And as much as I wish that desire would go away, because it might mean an easier life for me, it hasn't gone away. And I continue having that desire. So no, I'm not quitting. But if you need someone to milk a cow for you, I don't know, let me know. But no, I can't. Even if I decide to, hey, I need like another job or something, I'm always going to be online posting things. I'm always going to exist. I have to. At least that's how I currently feel. Maybe things will change at some point. But I get in these moments, they go away. The desires reignite when a new story pops up that I feel like I want to break down. I'm not going anywhere. All right? So I'm going to be here. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to suffer through all this with you. But I think it's important to remember that good people exist. I do think, I know it's hard to believe, that the vast majority of us are good people. Maybe many of us are misinformed, uninformed, don't really know what's going on around us. That doesn't mean that good can't come out of terrible. And right now we are in what is terrible. But better can happen. It's possible. We can make a better world. And I'm going to be here to try and do what I can in my little corner of the world to try and make that happen.